Welcome back to Bottom Line Up Front, the YouTube channel where we travel and go on adventures, and today's travel adventure is Oktoberfest in Munich. And here's the bottom line. There's two ways to tackle Oktoberfest. If you have lots of time, you can go for 4 or 5 days and reserve a table in either the afternoon or evening shift and have a stress-free experience where you'll definitely get drinks and you'll definitely get food and you know exactly where to be and when. The other way, if you don't have the luxury of time or money to do that, or you don't have a group of 10 friends to reserve a table, you could do what we do in this video, which is bounce around, experience tons of different tents, tons of different environments in a very short amount of time. But there are some tips and tricks you need to know in order to actually get the drinks and get the food, which we'll explain in this video. Last but not least, wear the Lederhosen and the Dirndl, the traditional Bavarian outfit, because if you don't, you'll feel out of place. Here are some quick facts for you if you're interested about Oktoberfest. There are 17 large tents like this. They're called beer tents. It doesn't look like a tent, it's more like an actual structure, and I would call it a building. But there's 17 large ones, 21 small ones. There's 120,000 actual seats around the entire festival where you can sit down at a table and have beer. Over 6 million people come here every year. Some of the tents hold up to 10,000 people. The largest tent is the Hofbrauhaus tent, and it holds 9,900 and something people. We'll just call it 10,000 people in one tent, all drinking beer. So how much beer are they cranking out? A lot. Let's talk about rides. We came here thinking it was all about drinking beer and eating pretzels and having schnitzel and bratwurst, but there's a lot of rides. Think of your state fair, but turned up by 1,000% with all the rides. We're talking real roller coasters, some really interesting contraptions that the Germans have thought up that I think you're supposed to stand on, a moving escalator that goes really fast. Most people fall down and then it throws you on a platform, then you go do a slide. There's water rides. It's not too warm, so we're not going to do that. And they have a Ferris wheel, a real roller coaster, some things that spin, basically a lot of stuff designed to make you vomit after you've had your beer. But of note is the world's largest free fall drop tower, you know, where it takes you up and you get a really good, nice viewpoint, and then it drops you, see all of the whole festival grounds, largest in the world. So that was really cool. They have some fun houses you can go through that are also very cool. The ride prices, from what we've seen, are like $4 to $6, probably more for the better rides.
$8 for the Ferris wheel.
$8 for the Ferris wheel. So make sure that you get your rides in before you get your drinks in, or if you have a strong stomach, get them in whenever you want.
Yeah.
We had to come over to the napping hill for this part because this is the most important thing I'm going to tell you about Oktoberfest is how do I do it. If you show up like us and you don't have a table reserved because you're a little spontaneous or you didn't have enough people to reserve a table, how do you actually get a beer at Oktoberfest? Well, here are the rules. Technically, they're not supposed to sell you a beer unless you're seated at a table, and there's a certain percentage of tables, like 20 to 30%, that are supposed to be free seating, first come, first serve, but there's 6 million people here, so those seats fill up really fast. So here's what you do. You walk into the tent, you find the people in the blue vest, and you say, hey, can I buy a beer?
We have money and we're going to pay for the alcohol.
And they're likely to bend the rules for you a little bit, especially if you say, I'm going to give a good tip. You give them a good tip, you make a friend. That's one way. The second way is you go to a table that someone has reserved, you see empty seats, you say, hi, where are you from? Can I sit with you? Can I buy you a beer? And then maybe they'll let you sit at their table, and everyone's super friendly here anyway. So that's another way to get a beer. But the rules are, you got to be at a table. If you didn't reserve a table and there's no open seating in the tables, you just got to kind of sort of figure it out. So just be friendly, it'll be fine. Oh, that goes for food as well. Like, you'll see people eating the most delicious looking plates of chicken and schnitzel and bratwurst inside the tents, and you're like, how do I get that? Same rules as the beer. You got to be at a table. So if you make good friends, you can sit down and have beer and chicken, or you can eat the street food out here, which is actually really good as well. So you can only bring very small bags, like purse size or smaller. We tried to bring a very small backpack yesterday. They're like, no, that's too big. And that was a small, foldable, put in your pocket backpack. So we had to check it. But the bag check's only, I think, €4 for the whole day. So you can check stuff because it gets cooler at night. So you can bring your sweaters or snacks if you want. I don't know. but if you don't need it, don't bring it. At Oktoberfest, there are two shifts essentially of enjoying yourself in the beer tents. There's a day shift from like noon to 6, and then from 6 to 10:30. Last beer's poured at 10:30. They kick you out of the tent at 11:30. Why is that important? Because if you arrive in between this shift change, you're gonna have this chaos mess of zombie horde of people who've been drinking for 4 or 5 hours coming at you, while other sober people are coming in, and the energy levels are crazy. So just plan accordingly. And obviously, if you have a reserved table for one of these shifts, you need to know about that. I'll tell you guys about the merit in not making a reservation at a specific tent, because since we don't have reservations, we have the luxury of bouncing around to different tents and kind of just wiggling and finagling our way into a table and getting some drinks, and we get to experience a lot more tents than if we reserve just one tent for 6 hours.
Albert Einstein worked in this tent. He screwed in light bulbs when he was 17.
You're gonna see a lot about love and hearts like this, heart cookies and
yes,
love.
This is the beautiful Oktoberfest, man. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them about it.
Yes, I am Albanian, and this is my bro from
America.
America, yes. We have a lot of fun together.
Bye-bye. So, lots of love and friendliness at Oktoberfest, and that's because it's actually originally started when Prince Ludwig, who turned into King Ludwig I, married his princess, Teresa, and they had a celebration. They invited everyone to the celebration, the after party, even the common folk, which is why you wear Lederhosen. This is what the common people wore back then in 1810, I believe. And so the common folk decided the next year, let's continue this celebration and this party, and the next year, and the next year. And now it has completely exploded to this huge festival, but originally it celebrated a wedding. So hearts, cookies, love, cupids, very friendly, lots of beer.
If you need to use the restroom, I'd recommend going inside a tent or somewhere else besides on the outside of the festival, because you'll wait for hours outside. Trust me, I know. They don't know how to work doors. We just finished watching a movie and we're getting ready for bed, and Sarah's like, do y'all smell smoke or smell fire? And it's like, went to go check it out, and over near the entry, like the electrical box has water coming out of it, and you can hear it short-circuiting. So Sarah saved us all, basically.
Let me get my handy dandy flashlight out to show you guys what's going on. It's raining outside. You might have guessed that it's raining outside. We have this, does it show up on camera?
Yeah.
We have this water coming out of the electrical box. And it's making crackling sounds.
It smells like an electric fire.
Smells like an electrical fire, and he said, don't step in this water. Other than that, this is a very lovely hotel. Okay.
It's funny. Do I have a lamp? I sure do. It's a headlamp. I'm really proud of it too.
I need to.